The funeral was quiet. Small church. 50 people were expected. But 200 people came. James Wilson, 68, bus driver. Same route for 30 years. Retired, died 2 months later. His family was in shock. Dad was just a bus driver. Who are these people? But when people started speaking, the truth came out. For 30 years, every morning, he'd said, "Good morning." And he'd changed 200 lives. Welcome to Echo Tales, where real stories meet real consequences. Today's story is about kindness, small gestures, and one bus driver's 30 years of quiet impact. If you love stories about ordinary heroes and the power of daily kindness, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I have a question for you. Has a stranger's small gesture ever saved your bad day? Share in the comments. From anywhere in the world, you probably use public transportation. Bus, subway, tram. Do you notice the driver? Do you know their name? Probably not. Today's story is about James Wilson. 30 years as a bus driver. Ordinary man. Ordinary job. But 200 people came to his funeral. Because James did something extraordinary. Every morning he said, "Good morning." And he remembered names. 30 years. Thousands of gestures. 200 lives changed. James Wilson started as a bus driver in 1985. He was 38 years old. He had a middle-class family, wife Ruth, 2 kids. Simple life. Bills, mortgage, school expenses. Bus driving wasn't a perfect job. But it was honest work. Steady paycheck. Retirement plan. He was assigned Route 5A, from the city's working-class neighborhood to downtown. 8 hours a day. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. First day, the boss gave a short explanation: learn the route, be on time, don't fight with passengers. Simple. James nodded. Simple. But James had an idea. Simple but different. First passenger boarded. Young girl, high school student, 15 to 16, looked like she'd been crying. James didn't know what to do. But, "Good morning. How are you today?" The girl stopped. Looked surprised. "I'm fine. Thank you." James smiled. "Good. Today's going to be great." In that moment James made a decision. He'd say, "Good morning," to every passenger. Everyone would feel they mattered. He did this for 30 years. Every morning was the same routine. 5:30 a.m. alarm. Breakfast. Shower. Uniform. 6 a.m. first stop. First passenger. When James opened the bus, he always thought the same thing: who's having a hard day today? How can I help? And his help was simple: a smile. "Good morning. How are you?" First week, passengers were surprised. Bus drivers usually didn't talk. But James continued. Second week, some passengers answered back. "Good morning. I'm fine." A month later, James started learning names. "Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?" Sarah, a nurse, was surprised. "How do you know my name?" "It's on your badge. And you ride every morning." "I want to remember you." Sarah smiled. For the first time that morning, she really smiled. 6 months later, James knew 50 names of regular Route 5A passengers. 1 year later, 100. 5 years later, 200. And every morning, each one heard, "Good morning." By their own name. James didn't just say, "Good morning." He paid attention. Marcus, 40s, homeless man. Every morning he'd try to board but had no money. Other drivers would kick him off. James, "Today's on me, Marcus." "Get on." Marcus, "But I don't have money." "Today's from me. Tomorrow's another day." James did this for 6 months. Every morning. Free. Then one morning Marcus paid. I found a job, James. Thank you. You gave me hope. Emily, 15, high school student. Every morning she'd bored with red eyes. Bullying at school. James, good morning, Emily. How are you? Not good. I know today's going to be hard. But you're strong. And today will end. Tomorrow will be better. Emily heard those words for 4 years. Every morning. Until high school ended. After graduation, Emily wrote James a letter. You kept me alive. Thank you. Sarah, 28, nurse. Her mother was undergoing cancer treatment. Every morning she'd bored, tired, hopeless. James, how's it going, Sarah? Hard. My mom. James pulled the bus over. Want to talk? They talked for 30 minutes. James listened. Just listened. Sarah, thank you, James. I needed this today. James, I'm always here, Sarah. Every morning. 30 years. Thousands of small gestures. Each one counted. James didn't know he was making an impact. He saw himself as ordinary. When he got home, his wife Ruth would ask, how was today? Normal. Routine. Nothing special happened. But James was wrong. Every day was special. David, 45, businessman. 25 years ago he was unemployed, homeless, hopeless. James would let him ride free every morning. Today's on me. 6 months later, David found work. Then started his own business. Became a millionaire. But James never knew. David never said. Lisa, 32, teacher. 10 years ago she'd watched James with students on his bus. Saw how he treated them. Every student matters, Lisa thought. She learned it from James. James never knew this either. Carlos, 50, retired soldier. Had PTSD. Every morning he'd have panic attacks. But on James's bus he was safe. Good morning, Carlos. You look great today. Those simple words would calm Carlos. James didn't notice this either. 30 years. 200 people. 200 lives changed. And James was just doing his job. Just being kind, he'd say. December 2015. James retired at 68. After 30 years. Last day was simple. Last route. Route 5A. Last stop. He said goodbye to the bus. Farewell, old friend. The boss thanked him. Company threw a small party. 20 people came. Cake. Thank you speech. James went home. Felt peaceful. Ruth, how do you feel? Good. Tired. But it was a good career. I did honest work. I'm proud of you, Ruth smiled. James enjoyed retirement. Spent time with grandchildren. Gardening. Reading. 2 months were perfect. Then February 17, 2016, morning heart attack. Very sudden. No pain. At 68, James Wilson passed away. Funeral was arranged 5 days later. Small neighborhood church. Family expected 50 people. Ruth, James was a quiet man. Didn't have many friends. Just family will come, I think. But when funeral day arrived, 200 people were there. Ruth was shocked. Who are these people? I don't know them. James's son Michael, I don't know them either. What's happening? Funeral began. Priest spoke. Then, would anyone who knew James like to speak? Silence. Then a woman stood up. Emily, now 35, teacher. Emily, 35, teacher. My name is Emily. I knew James for 20 years. But I never really talked to him. Just good morning every morning. I was 15 years old. Being bullied at school. Every morning I'd cry on the bus. But James noticed. Good morning Emily, he'd say. He knew my name. For the first time, someone saw me. For 4 years, every morning he did the same. How are you, Emily? You look better today. You're strong. Those words kept me alive. On days I thought about suicide, I'd get on James's bus. And hear, good morning. James saved me. And he never knew. Emily sat down. She was crying. 199 more people remained. Marcus, 50, business owner. I'm Marcus. 15 years ago I was homeless. Unemployed. Hopeless. Every morning I'd try to get on James's bus. I had no money. Other drivers would kick me off. But James, today's on me, he'd say. He did this for 6 months. Every morning. Free. Just from kindness. Then I found work. Now I have my own company. 50 employees. James gave me hope. Gave me back faith in humanity. Sarah, 42, nurse. I'm Sarah. 14 years ago my mother was undergoing cancer treatment. Every morning I'd get on James's bus. Tired. Scared. Alone. One morning I was crying. James stopped the bus. Want to talk, he said. We talked for 30 minutes. He just listened. Didn't give advice. Just, was there. My mother died 2 months later. But those 30 minutes, gave me strength. James gave me strength. I'll never forget. David, 45, businessman. I'm David. 25 years ago I was unemployed. Depressed. Losing hope in life. James would let me ride free every morning. Today's on me, he'd say. One morning I asked, why are you helping me? You don't even know me. James, because everyone needs help in hard times. And you're valuable. Those words changed my life. I found work. Then started my own business. Now I'm a millionaire. But I never forgot. James taught me, success starts with kindness. The stories didn't end. 200 people. Each had a story. Lisa, teacher, James taught me how to teach. Every child matters. Carlos, retired soldier, I had PTSD. James's bus was the only safe place. Jennifer, doctor, 15 years ago I was a med student. Stressed. James, you'll be a great doctor. I believed him. Tom, firefighter, 20 years ago James taught me a life lesson. Small gestures create big impact. 200 stories. 200 lives. 200 times, James saw me. Funeral ended. Ruth was crying. But happy. We were married 30 years, she told son Michael. And I never knew. Your father would come home every night, say, today was normal. But it wasn't normal. He was a hero. And I never noticed. When Michael was collecting his father's things, he found a box. Letters. Hundreds. Dear James, thank you. You kept me alive. Emily. James, I found a job. You gave hope. Marcus. Without you my child wouldn't have been born. Thank you. Sarah. Hundreds of letters. 30 years. Ruth never knew. Dad saved these, Michael cried. But never mentioned them. He was humble. Ruth opened one letter. Latest date. 1 week ago. Dear James, I heard you retired. For 20 years you said good morning every morning. You didn't know, but you talked me out of suicide. Every morning your smile was a reason to live. Thank you. You're an angel. Tom. Ruth through tears, we were married 30 years. And I didn't know my husband was an angel. A week after the funeral, local newspaper ran a story. Bus driver James Wilson, 30 years of kindness, 200 lives changed. Story went viral. TV news picked it up. National media. But the most beautiful legacy came differently. Route 5A's new driver, young man, 25, was at the funeral. Was moved. His first day, first passenger, good morning. How are you today? Second driver, different route, started the same. Then 10 drivers. 50 drivers. Entire city. A year later, the city bus company's new slogan, "Every passenger matters," James Wilson's legacy. Company train drivers, kindness. Engage with every passenger. Learn names. Emily, teacher, applied same principle at school. Good morning, to every student. Everyone matters. Marcus in his company, every employee valued. Everyone seen. David founded organization, James Wilson Kindness Foundation, helping homeless, distributing free bus passes. 30 years. One man. Simple gestures. But the impact was infinite. Today. Route 5A still runs. New driver says, "Good morning," every morning. At one of the stops, there's a small plaque. James Wilson Stop. 1947 to 2016. 30 years said, "Good morning," every morning. 200 lives changed. Kindness counts. Every morning passengers wait at that stop, look at the plaque. Smile. And to each other, they say, "Good morning." Emily's still a teacher. Every day tells students James's story. Marcus still owns his company. Knows every employee's name. Like James. Sarah's a nurse. Kind to every patient. James taught me. David expanded the foundation. Helped 10,000 homeless people. In James's name. Ruth, 80, still alive. Tells grandchildren their grandfather's story. Your grandfather was an ordinary man. But he did an extraordinary thing. Every morning he said, "Good morning." And he changed 200 people's lives. Remember, small gestures create big impact. Be kind. Always. James Wilson was just a bus driver. Wasn't famous. Wasn't rich. Wasn't powerful. But for 30 years, every morning, he did something. He said, "Good morning." And he remembered names. Simple. But powerful. 200 people came to his funeral. Because James saw them. Made them feel they mattered. And the impact continues today. Because kindness doesn't count. It accumulates. Small gestures change big lives. And sometimes the greatest heroes do the most ordinary jobs. James Wilson proved it. 30 years. Thousands of good mornings. 200 lives. A legacy. Forever. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe. Echo Tales shares stories about ordinary heroes and extraordinary gestures every day. What can you do for someone today? Maybe just say, "Good morning." Share in the comments. See you in the next story. Green Heart Bus.